Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome. Hang on, I need to do my do a quick intro here. Here we go. Yes, hello everyone, and welcome to Indie Comic Stream. I'm happy to say that my guest today is Matt Burke. How are you today, Matt?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. We are going to be discussing his book Butch Cleaver here in just a little bit. We are also going to be taking a look at Chango by Ceasar. Let's see here. I'll just bring that up real quick. Chango by Ceasar Feliciano. I'll be giving a quick review of that. And first off, though, is my comic book Tilt. I'm only $4 from 43% funded. And you may be saying, oh, Doc Hog, who cares? 42% to 43%. When back me up on this, Matt. When you were doing one of these campaigns, every little percent is another dopamine hit. Every little percent, it feels like, I just climbed another mountain.
Oh, yeah, man. There's nothing greater. I'll tell you that much.
It's like, so I'm a little over 2 weeks into the campaign now. And overall, I feel pretty good about where I'm at. I think I'm a little ahead of where I was last time. And last time I had a lower funding goal. So still lots of original artwork is left. Lots of ways to get yourself drawn into the comic. Lots of the pinups and the deck of cards are those will be continually available. But so back it, do back it soon. The link to it is in the description below, as is a link to Butch Cleaver. The dead butcher gains power to control and weaponize bone for revenge, reckoning, and redemption. And we will be discussing this in just a few moments, but I wanted to first talk about this. This was an article that appeared today, which I found incredibly depressing. It was titled, "You Are No Longer My Mother, A Divided America Will Struggle to Heal After Trump Era." When lifelong Democrat Myra Gomez told her 21-year-old son 5 months ago that she was voting for Donald Trump in Tuesday's presidential election, he cut her out of his life. He specifically told me, "You are no longer my mother because you are voting for Trump." Gomez, 41, a personal care worker in Milwaukee, told Reuters. Their last conversation was so bitter that she is not sure they can reconcile, even if Trump loses re-election bid. The damage is done in people's minds. Trump is a monster. It's sad. There are people not talking to me anymore, and I'm not sure that will change, said Gomez, who is a fan of Trump's crackdown on illegal immigrants and handling of the economy. And I'm not going to spend much time on this because it is depressing. But there was there was one in here that was just so oh my God. I mean, let me see if I can find this. Oh, yeah. Democratic voter Rosanna Guadagno, and this is some Trump supporter who cut off her. 49 said her brother disowned her after she refused to support Trump 4 years ago. Last year, her mother suffered a stroke, but a brother who lived in the same California city as her mother did not let her know when their mother died 6 months later. She was told the news after 3 days in an email from her sister-in-law. I was excluded from everything that had to do with her death, and it was devastating, said Guadagno, a social psychologist who works at Stanford University. Man, that's harsh. I mean, that's beyond harsh. I mean, that is a kick in the balls and a knife to the gut, and you name it. And I saw this, and I was talking to a friend of mine today. I did an election analysis on CNV Midday yesterday, and we were just talking about what I'd said. And afterwards, I read this article, and I sent him I sent him a link to it, and I said, I found this very depressing. I just want to let you know, and I'm pretty sure he's voting for Biden. But I said, look, I don't give a damn who you vote for. Elections, none of this crap is worth interfering in friendships, and that's my position. This is, folks, this is not worth it. And, going either way, the bonds that create friendships and the bonds within family, it's not worth it. Just cutting those off because you think the wrong person got elected. We're now 4 years into the Trump administration, and we have an election today. He may not be president for much longer, but you may want to be friends with that person for a lot longer,
right?
And even if he wins, it's only another 4 years. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. I understand why people have rifts over politics, but I hope that this ends soon. Any quick thoughts on this before we get to Butch Cleaver?
It's just that basically, these people, we're given information about these politicians, and then another day we can get new information about these politicians, and you probably don't want to end a friendship or a relationship just by the information you're given about these politicians. It's just not worth it. We could hear one thing about Biden or Trump tomorrow, and we could dismiss everything. We're all just fed information. Yeah. So that's all I got to say about that.
Okay, we'll come back to Butch Cleaver in just a second. See if anyone's no one's in the chat just yet. All right, let's talk a little bit about Butch Cleaver. Do you want to share your screen, or do you want me to just handle it from my end?
Sure, you can handle it from your end.
Okay. Well, tell us about Butch Cleaver.
Sure, it's a supernatural horror western. It's about this brutal butcher who gets killed, and he's brought back to life by a voodoo curse. And that curse gives him the power to weaponize bone on like a molecular level. And he's basically trying to use that power for revenge, reckoning, and maybe some redemption. So if you're into basically like horror and, if you like Westerns, maybe the old spaghetti Westerns, Sergio Leone, if you like 90s comics, if you're into Batman, Swamp Thing, Jonah Hex, that type of stuff, you might be into this. That's a little bit.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at, why don't we play, this is a video, right?
Yeah, it's just a trailer.
Let's give it a look.
Hi everyone, my name is Matt Burke. I'm an indie comic artist and writer and creator of Butch Cleaver. So what is Butch Cleaver? Well, if you threw Batman, Swamp Thing, Jonah Hex, and Hellboy into a meat grinder, Butch Cleaver would come out. Butch Cleaver is a fantasy horror western about a brutal butcher who is killed and brought back to life by a voodoo curse that grants him the power to control and weaponize bone. He tries to use said power for revenge, reckoning, and redemption. With influences of old spaghetti westerns, Sin City, and horror movies from the last 80 years, Butch Cleaver might be the book you're aiming for. In this campaign, I'm offering a 48-page colored graphic novel with different tiers, backer input, and stretch goals. I was told I couldn't be an artist. I was told I couldn't make a comic. Now I'm here to ask you, help me prove the haters wrong and back Butch Cleaver. Thank you for your consideration.
Who told you couldn't be an artist?
So back in the day when I was in art school, I'd been drawing a lot since I was a kid, and there was this new art program that was in the high school, and you had to have a certain grade level to get into the school. And I was really into I was like a 90s kid, so I was really into the whole Image Boom, the Max, Spawn, all that stuff. And my art skill was good enough to get into the college at the time, the program at the time, but my grades weren't. So at that point, they told me you cannot be an artist in our academy. So at that point, I just felt that my dream being a comic book artist was no longer, and I pretty much gave up on it, and I just kind of moved into other things. But I was a knucklehead, man, and at that time, it kind of, I was just a punk kid, but it is fact, and it did happen, and it put me on this journey. And if that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have Butch Cleaver. So that's basically where that comes from. I did try to get into a certain types of things before publishing and things like that, and I've been told no, and so I figured I'd go at it you know, myself, and ever since I did that, it's been nothing but good news. So
oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Where did you get the idea for Butch Cleaver? I mean, that's a lot. You said Batman, Jonah Hex, Hellboy. I mean, that's an awful lot to mix into one character. What kind of brought it together for you?
So basically, like I was really as a kid in the 90s, you know, I was really into Batman. I watched a lot of the animated series, and I loved the Tim Burton movies a lot. I loved the whole gothic side of it, and I really liked Spawn a lot too. And I noticed that there was a character that you know, that never really had use of bone, that really could do things with it, you know. So I specifically bone. So I figured I would try to do something with that, and so I came up with that character. I came up with this butcher that had bone weaponry, and he could just control it. I also was again, a big fan of like gothic architecture and westerns, and so I wanted to create a world or a city where every other building would be like a cathedral and a saloon or a French Quarter building or a Spanish mission. And I also wanted to create a world where I could have barbarians and cowboys and Native Americans and samurais and ninjas and things of that nature, pirates, privateers, and I could put them all in the same world. So that's where the fantasy element came in, and then I just kind of liked the darker side of things. So that came up with that. I was a big fan of horror movies too. I still am, sorry, and that goes back to silent film all the way through Universal Monsters, the Hammer films, and you go into the 80s slasher films. Love those too. I love Kubrick and, you know, Exorcist. Then you go into the Raimi and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then slashers, and then paranormal movies. Like, I don't know, I just love all genres of horror. I think they have a lot to offer. So that was a big influence on me as well.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. What is tell us just a little bit about the plot. I mean, he's out for revenge. Revenge against who?
So what I can tell you is that he was once alive, and something that's part of the mystery. He's trying to figure out who killed him. And once he's back and he has these powers, he goes on this basically mission on trying to figure out who murdered him. And there's different with Batman and like Sin City. What I liked about those books is the villains, you know, the rogues gallery. And same thing with Spider-Man. They had these really cool villains, and Sin City had these cool villains too, and different places to go. So I wanted to set up these gray characters, these different mob bosses and whatnots throughout the town of Oubliette. So that's part of the story, and also that he has a bounty hunter on his trail, while at the same time he's trying to solve who murdered him. So,
well, if he's already dead, how is the bounty hunter going to take him down?
That's also part of the story too. You have to figure out how do you. So if you have this character, right, that's basically theoretically could be unstoppable, I have to basically, it's my job to try to make a villain that's even worse than him, or someone that's even better than him that wants to take him down. So that's part of that. And the bounty hunter in there is Opio Possum. And I wanted to make a character that was really barbaric and similar to like a possum. Possums have a lot of cool attributes to them. They're creatures of the night. They're scary. They play dead a lot. They clean up on all the vermin. They have a death grip. So I made him a submissionist. Gave him a bullwhip. Teeth, claws, stuff like that. And my character Butch, he's not invincible really either. So he has to drink whiskey milk to survive. So he drinks that. It's a shot of that. He goes to there's a saloon in there in the town of Oubliette, and the saloon is it's a Viking meat hall / Western saloon. So basically, you have this this meat hall, and the top of the roof is actually a Viking ship turned upside down, and the doors to enter a Viking shield cut in half, so they swing right open. And you go in there, and you have a Vargbjorn is the bartender, and he's a Viking, and then he has his shield meetings that work there. And you start to see a little bit of that in this book. I'm going to be setting up the world, and I have a trilogy planned for this, hopefully. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's look at some of the perks here. Sign book and head sketch. That just comes with the physical copy and this sketch. Is each sketch done? I mean, it's not a copy, and they're not copies of a sketch, are they?
No, actually, they're going to be on, I believe, 7x9 Bristol board. I already have them in, and they're all going to be individually drawn by me. So far, I've sold 15 of them, so I can't wait to do those. I'm going to start doing those hopefully next week. So
outstanding. All righty, sign book and trading card. Sounds pretty self-explanatory. A little cheaper. All righty, 2 books and 2 trading cards. Okay. Original art. All righty. So what's with the original? What do you get? What piece of original art are we talking about here?
So that original art is taken from the book, and it's a scene where Butch gets in a fight with this doctor. His name's Dr. Ackle, and he tries to take Butch's knife, and it doesn't end well for him. And I basically wanted to have a page where it had some action in it, like a fight scene or something like that. Yeah, with that tier, you get the book, and it's a free shipping worldwide as well. So,
okay, all right. And what is the Dead Bones?
The Dead Bones. So with that's the original 11x17 artwork that I did for a trading card that I made for everyone that would sign up for the pre-campaign. So if you signed up for the pre-campaign, you're going to get that card, and that card should be arriving today. It's actually in transit. It should be at my house within 4 hours. And that card went up to all the pre-sign up, everyone that signed up before the campaign launched. So I wanted to offer the art too if someone wanted to buy it in a tier. And that also comes with the book, and it comes with all the stretch goals and free shipping worldwide on that as well.
Okay. All right. Roll the Bones. Wow.
So that one right there, that's the trading card that every backer gets. That one, that one, basically it's the original art again, 11x17 on Bristol board.
This here is the trading card?
Actually, that's the cover.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah. I see. Yeah, it's a different. Okay, I see. Okay, but this is go ahead. Tell us about Roll the Bones.
Yeah, and Roll the Bones, it's similar to the other ones. It's got everything. It's got the book. It's got the trading cards, all the stretch goals, and it's the original art for the official Butch Cleaver #1 trading card. So I'm going to number all my cards. The one up above, that's number 0. I know 0 is not a number, but it's still the 0 card. So there's that, and then the one at the bottom is the original art for the cover that I did, and that's Butch Cleaver. It's $5. You get the book, you get the everything that comes with it, free shipping worldwide. So,
and then the Preston Acevedo one's already sold. There's not a surprise.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay. Wow, boy, this is just some fantastic art.
Oh wow, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Look at that. Yeah, I just like the blades and wow. This is fantastic. Look at wow. Look at the detail here. How long has it taken you to put these 72 pages together? I mean, do you do your own coloring too, or just the inks?
So I do everything. So this book was actually 3 books combined into one. So I had the first issue right here, the second issue right here, and then the third one. So I'm putting them all together into one book.
Okay.
So that's how I got all the pages, and it took me years to do it. I've been working on this whole project, I think a little over 10 years now.
Wow.
And I'm already halfway through the second book. So, but I put that on hold right now because I'm working on the stretch goal, which was behind the scenes features for this book. I'm typing things up on how I made the book. I'm showing character designs, how I make a page and set it up, stuff like that. If people might like it, and so I'm working on that. And once then that's done, then I'm start doing the head sketches. And this book I'm going to be fulfilling in February. So that's how that works.
Huh. Okay. All righty. Well, let's take a quick detour here, and I can talk about Chango. All righty. Chango is by Ceasar Feliciano, and it's got an interesting concept. And I have to admit, I read it when I was kind of tired, and so it may have been a bit more confusing to me because I was tired. But the art in here, I'll say this, is not my preferred type of art, but it's some people really like this, and so it's not like, for my 2 big things with comic book art is that the images need to look like they're moving, because obviously it's a page and the images don't move like they do on a TV screen. and the images need to look three-dimensional since you're on a flat two-dimensional plane. And the art pretty much achieves that here. So I don't have those, those are my two real big pet peeves and things that I think are pretty pretty objective standards, and those are not violated here. Basically, the plot revolves around this young man, Reuben. He starts out as a young kid, and his mom is looking for a record shop, and they end up buying this record, and you then get fast forward 10 years where he's now a teenager, and all of a sudden there's all these little demons that are popping up on this plane, and they're like it's like having the devil on your shoulder. That's basically what what they've done here. This demon saying your husband is cheating on you, he likes younger women. This demon obviously is over the pilot going crash it, crash it, crash it, which I have to admit was kind of funny. But it's an interesting concept. Instead of just your usual red devil sitting on one side of your shoulder, it's all these different unique demons. And Reuben has one as well, and this is how it came about. It basically came out of that record that they bought, and this red mist is moving into Reuben's bedroom, and suddenly this demon appears and calling himself Chango, and next thing you know, it's replaced with this little demon, and he calls himself Chango. We later learn that this demon's actually not named Chango. I think his name was Ursu, and he's there to protect Reuben from the actual Chango. And this is later on in the story when they've gone. It looks like they've gone to some church, and Reuben goes because he's hoping the church can help him get rid of Ursu, but somehow it backfires, and the actual Chango is out to get them now. And this toward the end is where it got a little confusing for me for a couple of reasons. One is it's not clear exactly to me how Reuben thought about getting rid of Ursu by going to the church. How was that? What was the mechanism that was going to get rid of Ursu? It wasn't clear. And then I guess these are the church has all these worshipers of Chango, and that's how Chango comes about. But again, that mechanism isn't entirely clear either. And the other thing is, at the end, it kind of kept jumping back and forth between 9 years ago, now, 5 or 10 years in the future, something like that. It jumped around a little too much. So I did get a little confused at the end, but on the other hand, you certainly identify with Reuben, because he's this innocent kid, and he's now toward the center of the book as he's grown up more depressed because he can't get rid of this Ursu, and also his dad has died. So you certainly identify with him, and I do kind of want to see what's going to happen after this. It's just that in issue 2, it's just that toward the end of issue 1, it got a little confusing as to exactly what was going on, and yeah. So on balance, I liked it, but it had some problems at the end, and but hey, all comics have some things that need to be worked on, and on balance, it wasn't a bad comic. So, alrighty, I will leave it there, and let's go back to our discussion of Butch Cleaver. Do you have any thoughts on the art or anything here, Matt?
I think the demons look cool. I think the concept sounds pretty fun. I've never read it. I'm not familiar with it, but I like the whole concept of the record where he plays it. Sometimes you play albums backwards. The albums and stuff. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe it's a metal album, but yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. See if we real quick here. See if we've got anyone. Yes, have a few people in the chat. Hello, King Toe. Matt had to stop by and give that thumbs up for the brewski, and as usual, hello, Doc. Hello, King Toad. How are you, sir? And unfamiliar on Chango. The creator is it's Ceasar Feliciano, and I want to say, I hope I don't have him mixed up with someone. No, I don't think so. But yeah, Yeah, Ceasar Feliciano and Ben Goldsmith, who, yeah, both of them worked on the story and the script. So, and Ceasar Feliciano did the ink. So, yeah, it's not bad. It just, it needs a little work, and I think issue 2 needs to Trick or Treat movie Matt play album backwards. All right, you have some. You definitely have some things that maybe need to be cleaned up a little bit in issue 2, but not terrible. Okay, let's go back to Butch Cleaver. What else do you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, it's basically if you're into that type of that era, not only the westerns but kind of like the Victorian era. You might be into stuff like you might be into this book. Again, if you like the kind of like the Ninja Turtles and those anamorphic type monster characters, you might like that. I'm gonna be bringing in different elements into the next story that it's going to open up the world a lot more. So I am definitely building a world with this. It's my baby, and yeah, I will say that I already got the stickers in right now. The one that you see right there. So these are coming, and then yeah, so I got the stickers, and then I got the trading cards. So that's coming.
Who did your stickers?
I went through Sticker Mule.
Oh yeah. Did they send you the hot sauce?
Yeah, I had some today.
That's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's spicy, but it's sweet too. They do a nice job on that stuff. I gotta find an excuse to cook something that I can use it on. So, because I haven't had any in a while. Okay. So is he able to really make any sort of weapon out of bone? Is that basically his Butch's superpower?
That's his superpower. He can create anything with bone. And with this, I wanted him to be like really kind of like blue collar, not too much. He's not a brilliant guy. He is, he's probably a little smarter than the average person, but he's just a regular dude. And I was really inspired by like Ash from Evil Dead and stuff like that. I identify a lot with that character. I'm, kind of a blue collar guy. And yeah, but he can do anything with that. If he really wanted to, he can make a bone car or something like that. But with here, he's just going to be making butcher knives and cleavers, and he's got a 6-shooter.
Are the blades actually made out of a bone as well? Because they look metal. I'm just out of curiosity.
They're made out of bone too, as well.
Okay.
But the sheen when he gets them so sharp that they're going to have that different sheen on there. So
I see.
It'll look metallic.
Okay. All right. So let's just scroll through some more of these images here.
For sure.
All righty. Oh, no. Now what's going on here?
So with that, there's this, when Butch is resurrected, he's in this desert, and the desert is made of bone dust, the sands, and the desert is called the Bone Void, and he's inside of this abbey cathedral made of bone as well. There's a character there named Moth Mammon, and he's a mysterious character. He is like his guide through the world, and he's showing him his newfound powers, and he awakens Butch. He also awakens himself. They're both wake up, and he's in this part right here. He's training Butch on how to use his powers. So with this, I just wanted to have a fun, action-packed kind of martial arts type thing. I love martial arts movies too. That's another influence of mine, and I really like the Evil Dead movies with a lot of the nasty gore, and Cronenberg, The Fly, that type of thing was a big influence on me as well. And right here, you kind of see they have a little standoff, and they're trying to size each other up, and he makes a Gatling gun out of his hand.
Now, why did you call the town Oubliette?
Oubliette is
Oubliette.
It's a French word for, from my understanding, the Devil's Dungeon, and it's also the dungeons that they used to put people back in the medieval times throughout Europe. I think it's like a kind of like a glass shaped hole that they drop them in. And I wanted this town to be gothic but kind of hellish at the same time. And I thought the name sounded cool.
Awesome. Kind of a Joker-like character there.
Yeah, that's Condor Warlock.
All right. What are his powers?
Him right there, he's basically like they call him the Gate Taker, and he's basically like the undertaker of the town, but he's also kind of like a priest that'll read the sermons at the funerals and whatnot. but he has an alter ego as well. And I'm going to go into him more into the second book after this. So you'll see a little bit more about him. But in here, he's just kind of standing his ground with Butch, and they're going to basically know each other exist in this point. And that's Opie the old possum. Opie the old possum. That's the bounty hunter right there. And he's got a dead possum skin cap on his head, kind of like Davy Crockett. So, and I wanted to have fun with this book. At the end of the day, I want people to pick up this book with a beer or some chips or something and just read it. And I want to entertain people. For me, that was the main thing, and just keep that page turning, and have a fun read, hopefully. And that's the original art tier from the one up at the top with the Doc Rackle.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, all right. A knife is a man's way of passage, survival, providence. What do you mean? I get him. He's got the plague. What does that mean exactly?
So in the town, there was like basically a plague that came through that I kind of hint about throughout this issue, and they think that he still has it. And there's a scene in the bar when basically that happens, and he gets into a little bar fight after this.
Cool.
And that's another character that I'm introducing to. That guy is El Dia, the Day. And I wanted to make a badass bandito in there. And so you're going to see him in some point in the story as well.
Okay. All right. This is interesting.
So that was the cover to issue 3. That's Opie Opossum and his cousin Whitey Ratatouille. That's Butch Cleaver's old boss. And he's also known as the White Rat. He owns the slaughtering house, but he's kind of an unsavory character. So you'll learn a little about him. They call him the White Rat around Oubliette.
Now, is this like his horse, or it looks like a bull here.
So with Butch, I wanted to make him a real cowboy. So he's riding a bull around. He's not riding a horse. And that's his resurrected dead bull. His name's Tor. So that's basically his Robin and his Batmobile together. So that's his buddy. It's bull it's Butch and his bull. He talks to him, and he's just there as like this emotional mechanism throughout the story, somewhat. So, all right. And that's just Butch in his I guess like primal form. Okay. With his anatomy, I wanted it to just basically be amorphous, where his bones are always changing and cracking and popping when he's changing into different things and whatnot. And I just wanted it to have basically his bones are kind of like his muscular system as well. And if you were to cut his bones open, there would be like this tissue inside as well. So he does bleed.
Okay. All right. So it is kind of possible to destroy him.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this looks like the inks from an earlier page.
Yeah, I just put some black and whites on there just to show some of the pictures without color, just for fun. And that's the OG cover from back in the day, black and white. And I'm going to be giving everybody, the first 100 backers, are going to get the first print of Butch Cleaver, the floppy.
Oh, so, all right. The ash can type of thing?
No, just the original, this one right here.
Right. Okay.
They're going to get that so they can have it for a collector's item if they want.
Very cool. All righty. Okay, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. All righty. Anything else that you want to let people know about Butch Cleaver?
No, that's pretty much it. I also want to say too, I think I'm going to be selling some of these T-shirts up on my campaign. I'm going to have I have some, and they're basically mediums, larges, and extra larges. So I have a few of them up there. They're from the campaign or from when I was doing cons. So maybe people are into it. They can pick some of those up. And I was showing this the other day. I have this piece right here that I'm going to be giving away to one of the first 100 backers. It's a piece I started on Doodle and Chill, and it'll be I finished it up and just going to send it off to somebody.
Cool. All righty. Okay, let's finish up with something a little bit fun. Steve Inman here, which is someone I always enjoy.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Especially if she looks like a man. Well, as you can see, the discount version of Nicki Minaj, or should we say Nicki Manaj, is just going off on this dude. The dude's like, all right, I'm not scared to throw down with a girl, especially if she looks like a man like Nicki Minaj. And it looks like the tipping point has begun. He's going to rush in. He looks like he's going to throw a shot, but no, he takes it in. And he's got a glass jaw. Take a quick look at this pathetic replay. You can see Nicki Minaj is just mouthing off, ready to square up with this dude. This dude says, all right, I'll even pull up my short tack like I'm tough. But it looks like he's going to go in for the shot. And you can see right here, she was just several steps ahead of him. We'll slow it down. He comes in, and man, he just leaves his chin wide open. And booyah, his chin snaps back like a freaking human Pez dispenser. And Nicki Minaj comes in with one final shot. It's over. Well, as you can see, the discount version of Nick.
Let's see what else we got here. There was one other. Oh yeah, this one's not bad either. He hasn't been doing a lot.
Sneaked out of their mama's basement once again. Well, as you can see, Chaz and Kyle sneaked out of their mama's basement once again, and all jacked up on Mountain Spew, trying to take this stop sign. Oh, and a big right land, and Chaz is out. Somebody better call Mike Lindell and get a Mike pillow for that guy. Maybe some Giza sheets because he looks dead. Let's take a quick look at the replay here. You can see, obviously, Kyle does everything he can to take this sign. He's jerking it off. When that doesn't work, a nice big haymaker. And they're on, but nobody's home. Well,
all righty. That's all for now. Thank you, everyone who stopped on by. Please do back Butch Cleaver. The link is in the description below. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow with a CNV midday, probably just, a little bit of election cleanup and analysis. And then Friday, I'll be back to analyzing comics again. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Matt, for being my guest. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All righty. Okay, everyone. Have a good evening. And yeah, don't take the election too seriously.
Yeah.